I've got a little problem. Not a my head is on fire kind of problem, or I accidentally threw my phone at a seagull again kind of problem, but one equally as annoying. Go with me here for a second. It's 1998, and you just finished playing Ocarina of Time. Your tiny mind is frickin' blown. You're a kid in the scenario, go with it. And you ask your best friend Paul, you have a friend named Paul in this scenario, go with me here. You say, Paul, have you played the latest Zelda game? And Paul asks, what Zelda? Paul has a lisp, it's important for the story. But not only has he not played the game, he's never even heard of the frickin' series. So you tell him, oh my god, it's amazing, you've gotta play it. You get a horse, you use a sword as a time machine, a fat fish man takes 1,000,000 years to scooch 5 inches. It's amazing. You're bad at explaining things, obviously, but stick with me here. And then Paul goes, nah. Then imagine this happens 1,000,000 more times. Anyways, this is about Twilight of the Spirits. Ark the Lad Twilight of the Spirits is a tactical turn-based RPG developed by Cattle Call in collaboration with Sony, and it has one of the best stories I've ever played, coupled with one of the worst dubs in existence.
Love? What love? Are you even capable of love?
I could genuinely do a better job on my watch. But despite its shortcomings, this is easily one of my top 5 favorite games of all time, and literally nobody has ever played it. I have met, no joke, one person in my entire much too long existence who has even heard of the game, and he loved it just as much as I do for the same reasons as I do. The characters are deep and complicated except for one. The combat's engaging, the story, not to mention the music actually kind of slaps. So, basic story. Post-apocalyptic world where modern and futuristic technology can be found in ruins, and there are 2 sentient races vying for supremacy. The humans, who are doing their normal human stuff, and an evolved monster species called the Deimos. There are 5 magic MacGuffins that grant ultimate power, and everybody's after them to destroy the other side, as you do in a fantasy nuclear arms race, and you play simultaneously as 2 opposing factions, one human, one Deimos. I personally love these kinds of stories where you get the opposing sides' perspectives and opinions. To the humans, the Deimos are full-on monsters that kill everything in their way while simultaneously getting in the way of human progress. And to the Deimos, the humans are an encroaching force, annexing Deimos land and strip-mining the hell out of it for the resource they both rely upon, Spirit Stones. In the hands of the humans, Spirit Stones are a valuable fuel source, and to the Deimos, they're a necessary part of the magic that they naturally produce. In game terms, they power your special moves, but their scarcity is always front and center in the story. And in a very interesting bit of ludonarrative harmony, they get more expensive as the game goes on, and they become a rarer and rarer resource. So in a world with 2 opposing factions, with relationships between them being illegal, and where one side is basically furries, monster fuckers will find a way. Enter Nafia, mother of our protagonists, Karg and Dark, twin brothers, half human, half Deimos. Although Karg looks kind of like a discount Legolas, and Dark does not. Speaking of which, Karg obviously favors his mother and is able to pass for human with no issues, while Dark does not. And Nafia is technically royalty, so Karg had a great childhood, while Dark...
No way would I give it to you bastards. Have it your way.
Jesus! But you aren't the only one seeking that unobtainium. In Goose steps the Disweld army, obvious Nazi analogs for the humans to contend with, and Draguza, the artificial Deimos created by the Diswelds, and looking to become king of the Deimos. Each acts as a foil for their respective parties, each trying to do the same thing as their special counterparts but using darker methods, showing both the risks of losing yourself on this dark path as well as the lengths you may have to go to be able to accomplish your... genocide. Combat in this game is also a lot of fun. It's turn-based like my D&D brain loves, positioning's very important, and you get some pretty awesome abilities near the end. Dark's out here summoning tornadoes, Volk's commanding glaciers, and Maru is casually shooting down airships full of innocent people. Is it a war criminal now? On the human team, you have Karg, with the personality of wet cardboard, his yandere bodyguard, a homeless jungle kid who's convinced himself that he's a prince and never once puts on a goddamn shirt, a grizzled veteran with a mohawk and an axe, and an ex-Disweld army scientist. And on the Deimos team, you have Dark, yandere number 2 Delma, best boy Volk, the world's oldest tree stump, and the demon child Bebedora. Oh, her? She just controls the puppet strings of fate and sees souls, don't worry about her. Now, each side has legitimate beef with the other, and each side has done some truly heinous shit. Take Volk, for instance, the lupine Deimos wielding a big weirdly shaped axe and easily top 5 Rizzed in the game don't at me. Well, one day he and his family are away from home and they run into Lloyd, Paulette's father. A battle ensues, which results in the death of both Lloyd and Volk's wife and child. Both Paulette and Volk independently swear vengeance on the opposing sides, swearing to wipe out the humans and Deimos respectively. In Volk's case, one at a time with an axe. Now, we don't get a specific number, but Volk killed some amount of people between when he lost his family and when he joined Dark's cause, and they had nothing to do with the death of his family. In fact, the only reason he decides to join up with Dark is because it's taking too long and Dark's plan is quicker. Paulette, on the other hand, takes up her father's red pauldron and obviously swears vengeance on the Deimos, perpetuating a cycle of violence because hate breeds hate, violence begets violence, and hurt people hurt people. Peace only comes from forgiveness. In another instance of ludonarrative harmony, there's a certain point in the game where Karg and Dark need to team up, but not as true teammates. Dark shows up as an NPC controlled by the computer because at no point does he actually trust Karg. And near the end of the game, your two teams meet, each consisting of characters you've poured countless hours into grinding out levels, cash, healing items. And the game asks you to pick a side, once and for all. And it's a genuinely hard decision. Or I imagine it would be if I didn't side against the humans at every opportunity. But the game makes you choose. The Doomsday weapon is within arm's reach, and you genuinely think the stories of the characters you've come to love might end by your own hand. Because in a war, not everybody can win. This game has one of the best stories I've ever seen. It's deep and complex. It's about death, the perpetuation of violence, fear of the unknown, but overall it's about forgiveness, even for those who didn't ask for it, and even for those who don't deserve it. I love this game, and I love you for letting me ramble about it.